New Thought Media Network. We are a global broadcast network of positive music, media, and entertainment, inspiring humanity's evolution along the journey of enlightenment and creating a world of love, peace, empowerment, and prosperity for all. New Thought Media Network. Positively inspiring.
Live from a secure concrete bunker somewhere in Ohio, New Thought Media Network presents Pastor Michael Mangus with Friday's Fireside Chat, spiritual conversation for today. Here he is from the secret radio room, surrounded by thousands of watts, Pastor Michael Mangus.
As the thousands cheer. Well, good evening to everyone across the United States and also around the world. It is time once again for another fun-filled, thrill-packed, and guaranteed always exciting edition of the Fireside Chat here on the New Thought Media Network. I am Pastor Michael Mangus, and I am broadcasting this evening from the secret radio room, surrounded by thousands, and I mean thousands of watts, in the secure concrete bunker somewhere around Akron, Ohio, that is so top secret. Only one person, and that is my producer, Diego Reyes. Only he knows where the super secret concrete bunker is located. Not even our chief inspirational officer, the Reverend Robert Brzezinski. He has no clue where the super secret radio room in the concrete bunker is located. We're going to keep it that way too. Well, we have a wonderful show for you this evening. Please feel free to interact with us by posting on Facebook and also in StreamYard. We are taping this early because we have a very special guest. So now for all my shy people out there, if you don't want to comment, that's okay. You can send me an email at pastormichaelmangus@gmail.com, pastormichaelmangus@gmail.com. It's kind of hard to read them while we are on the air, but I read them during the week, so please feel free to send me an email, pastormichaelmangus@gmail.com. So the purpose of our fireside chat here is to talk about contemporary issues from a New Thought perspective. And as I keep saying week after week, I want us all to have a new thought about what is going on in the world and our part in it. Again, in our centers, we talk about oneness almost every single week. So what is our part here in bringing about a world that does work for everyone? And we are continuing our celebration of Queen Elizabeth's Platinum Jubilee, with all the way from the United Kingdom, live from her palatial studios, the New Thought Media superstar. You can go ahead and put that up. Our own award-winning Laura Topper will be with us. She's also producing this show this evening, at least the first half. Laura hosts the Cosmic Prayer here on our network, plus also is involved in our Centers for Spiritual Living Global Services Committee. Plus, if that wasn't enough, she is soon to graduate from Holmes Institute School of Spiritual Leadership. The soon-to-be Reverend Laura Topper will be with us during our second half of our broadcast. We are so glad that she is with us this evening and also helping. It's going to be a very busy weekend for yours truly. We are recording this show, like I said before, early to accommodate Laura's schedule, also my own, because I have a wedding rehearsal to attend tonight. A colleague is performing a wedding, and she is someone who I've trained to do weddings, so I wanted to make sure I was at her first rehearsal. And then tomorrow I have a last-minute wedding at 12 noon. Join a couple together, and then I attend my first wedding as a civilian tomorrow. My first wedding in a long time. And I promised Laura Topper and also Reverend Briz that I would sit on my hands during the ceremony, that I would not react, that I would just enjoy the ceremony. It'll be fun tomorrow. So in our brief overview of the news here, lots to report. The House Select Committee investigating the January 6th, 2021 attack on the U.S. Capitol held its first primetime hearing last night, dealing and detailing the findings of the panel's investigation and playing very new, disturbing video of the riot. The panel showed some never-before-seen material, including a bird's-eye view footage from the security cameras that showed the enormous pro-Trump mob as it started swarming towards the Capitol. The footage also showed how the crowd took its cues directly from Trump, with one rioter reading a Trump tweet over the megaphone for the other rioters to listen. In addition to other closed-door depositions of the members of the Trump team, the committee also revealed testimony from Trump's White House, who also said that the former president did not want the attacks to stop. He angrily resisted his own advisors, who were urging him to call off the rioters, and also thought his own vice president deserved, and that's in quotes here, deserved to be hanged, as the violent crowd chanted, "Hang Mike Pence." So I continued to pray for peace, civility, and harmony in this country. The truth is coming out about what happened on January 6th. Well, how do you know it's true? Some of my friends say. Well, the House committee was a bipartisan group of legislators who interviewed over 1,000 witnesses. So the big factor will be, does a majority of the American people believe all the hard work of this committee, who has gone to great lengths to be bipartisan? So since 2016, we have all heard the phrase fake news in this country and around the world. So how do we know if the news we are receiving is factual? So this is what I do. Yes, I know that I use CNN for the basis of my news reports, and I know that it has its biases. However, during the week, I read from several other news agencies. We all have God-given faculties of rational thinking and discernment. The Bible verse comes up that you shall know the truth, and the truth shall set you free. So my prayer for the world is that we see our togetherness, our divinity, rather than our separation. And there has been small groups here in our country of conservatives and also liberals that really, when they get together and they talk and they listen, they find more commonality with each other than division. Interesting. So now Diego's favorite story of the week, coronavirus. A team of scientists responsible for determining the origins of the COVID-19 pandemic released its first report on Thursday, saying that all the hypotheses remain on the table, including a possible laboratory incident. The 27-member advisory committee convened by the WHO, the World Health Organization, said that the available data suggests that the virus jumped from animals to humans, but there are still gaps in key pieces of data. The most closely genetically related viruses were found in bats in China and Laos, according to the report, but a spillover event to humans has not been identified. The preliminary report also says that it is important to evaluate the possibility that COVID-19 was introduced into the human population through a laboratory incident, because lab leaks have been known to happen in the past. And since there is no data available, the group says that the lab leak theory cannot be ruled out. So again, for the past 2 years, I've been saying to everyone, take care of yourself. Get correct information from the CDC and the WHO. And that same gut instinct that we are taught to listen to through our centers and our classes and New Thought will keep us healthy if we listen to it. And yes, I know that some still get COVID-19, even though that they've been vaccinated and boosted. However, these cases among the vaccinated have been mild, almost like a common cold or flu. And the individual did not end up in the hospital. We have news tonight from the Ukraine. As the Ukraine tries to hold on to key frontline cities, Russia is struggling to provide basic public services to a civilian population in the Russian-occupied territories of Ukraine, according to a British intelligence report that was published on Friday. The report claims that access to drinking water, internet connection, and phone services remain inconsistent, while the Ukrainian city of Kherson also likely faces a critical shortage of medicines. And Mariupol also runs a risk of a cholera outbreak. Now, last month, the Kremlin admitted that many of the occupied areas remain without electricity, water, or sewage services. The report also comes a day after Russian President Vladimir Putin compared himself favorably to Peter the Great, a Russian monarch from the late 17th century, using the liking to justify Russia's invasion of the Ukraine. So our prayers continue to be with the Ukrainian people for peace. And our team of practitioners and ministers here in the United States continue to have communications and talk with daily our CSL practitioners and members in the Ukraine. And I just encourage us all to see beyond the appearance and to see peace within our own consciousness, to work on ourselves, because peace begins with us. Let there be peace on earth, and let it begin with me. I wish that I could report otherwise, but the mass shootings continue here in the U.S. A 23-year-old man shot 4 co-workers, 3 fatally, at a manufacturing plant in Western Maryland on Thursday before fleeing the scene and exchanging gunfire with state police, the authorities said. A trooper and the suspect were wounded and hospitalized, according to the Maryland State Police. Investigators have not yet established a motive for the shooting, and the incident is the setting down the 254th mass shooting this year, as the country is on pace to match or surpass last year's totals, according to the Gun Violence Archive. Separately, a man was shot and killed by a police officer outside an Alabama elementary school on Thursday. The county sheriff said during a news conference at least 34 students were inside the Walnut Park Elementary School when a man tried to get inside, the city school superintendent told CNN. So not only do we continue prayers in this country, in the U.S., we also continue to put pressure on our legislators for common sense gun reform. For example, no one under 21 is allowed to purchase a gun of any type. The reason the shooter in Uvalde was able to purchase not 1, but 2 AR-15 type rifles and also over 300 rounds of ammunition was because he just turned 18. Now, he was not able, though, to buy a handgun because, again, that's by Texas state law. You have to be 21 to purchase that. So, again, no one under 21 allowed to purchase a gun. Also, a ban on AR-15 type guns. If you need an AR-15 to shoot deer or game, you are a lousy shot. So how about stricter background checks and also requirements for semi-annual licensing and also training? The responsible gun owners do that. They go for training. They continue to practice at the range. Finally, how about repealing the Second Amendment? These are all options that we have here in our country. Well, hi there. Good evening. You are watching the Friday Evening Fireside Chat here on the New Thought Media Network. Pastor Michael Mangus with you. We are just going over the news here. In just a few moments, we will have the lovely, the talented author, singer, and soon-to-be minister of religious science, the wonderful Laura Topper, will be our very special guest here in just a few moments. Finally, I wanted to read something here. I usually try to include something from the religion news. So we have some wonderful news this week. The Mennonite Church USA passes a resolution to include LGBTQIA inclusion. And this is by Catherine Post from the Religious News Network. It says the governing body of the largest Mennonite denomination in the U.S. passed a resolution on Sunday, May 29th, confessing to committing violence against LGBTQ people and committing to LGBTQ inclusion. In a separate vote, the Mennonite Church also repealed instructions to pastors not to officiate at marriages between people of the same sex. The denomination's official confession, which views marriage as between a man and a woman, does remain unchecked. And nearly 83% of the delegates meeting at a special assembly in Kansas City, Missouri, voted in favor of repealing the guidelines barring marriages for same-sex couples, while the resolution for LGBTQ inclusion passed by a narrow margin of 55.7% in favor. The Mennonite Church USA traces its roots back to 16th century Anabaptist, unlike other Anabaptist groups like the Amish. It's known for its beliefs in adult baptism and pacifism. And today, the group has approximately 62,000 members and 530 congregations organized into conferences. The Mennonite Church horizontal structure means that in practice, the denomination holds little more than symbolic authority over individual conferences. So while the membership guidelines prevented pastors from performing same-sex weddings in theory, the conferences implemented or ignored those guidelines however that they saw fit. In the weekend assembly, a number of delegates expressed concern that the resolution would stoke division rather than healing. We need both traditional and the progressive. We cannot do this work if we don't have both, says Pastor Dwight McFadden of the Millersburg, Ohio Mennonite Church, which is not that far away from me, according to the Anabaptist world. And I don't feel like this is the third way that we are known for. But according to a spokesperson for the Mennonite Church, while the implications of the resolution will still need to be worked out on a local level, the message it sends out is loud and clear. As a national denomination, we now say that we are a pro-LGBTQIA+ denomination, and that is our position. Good for them. And for those of you who are still against same-sex marriage because the Bible says so, again, there's a really good biblical argument for same-sex relationships and marriage if you look beyond the literal text and take a look at the original language and also the history and the reason why the writers wrote what they did. There are several good books and articles available. The truth is that we are all God's children, and love is love, and that the spiritual leaders have the responsibility to teach that truth from their pulpits, no matter what the religion or Christian denomination. 9:22, Laura. Diego usually likes me to keep the news under 20 minutes, so I was 2 minutes over. So are you going to tell Diego I was 2 minutes over? Jesus smiling in the background. Diego isn't producing us today, but again, my Laura Toppers is in the background, at least for the first half of the show, running the controls remotely for Master Control at the New Thought Media Network headquarters in Denver, Colorado. All right, so that's all for the news here. Let's go to our evening announcements, and then we will take a break and then be back with our special guest. That is NT Media award-winning host, Laura Topper. So yours truly is currently parking himself at Summit CSL. For more information, go to summitcsl.org. There you will find information about our wonderful Sunday gathering online at 10:30 Eastern, 7:30 Pacific time. Grab your cup of coffee, your tea, your espresso, your chai, your boba tea, and please join us. I really do believe that we have one of the best services in New Thought because, again, we have a balance of music, message, and meditation. So, again, join us, and that's 10:30 Eastern, 7:30 Pacific time. And our stream is broadcast live on our Summit Spiritual Center of Akron Facebook page, soon to be on New Thought Media Network. And our Facebook page also has past broadcast of the Fireside Chat and yours truly when he is praying on the New Thought Media Network. If I was to go through the schedule of all the great programs that we have here on the New Thought Media Network, I would be here for probably 4 or 5 hours because we have that many programs. I'm asking today for your support of this network. The reason being is because that we are making an impact around the world. This isn't just for us. This is not for us. This is for the world. This is our gift to the world to inspire, to empower, and also to reveal the divinity within each and every person. So we ask for your support here. Join us in the vision of taking this message to the whole world. And you can do that by simply going on ntmedia.org/donate. There you can give a very generous one-time gift, or you can do like I do every single month, and that's give a sustaining gift. Those sustaining gifts go a long way because they help us to set the budgets for salaries. It also helps us set the budgets for equipment and also for other expenses, including bandwidth. So help us out, please. This is a wonderful organization of people who generally care about the world. So ntmedia.org/donate, and we just want to thank you so very much. Okay. Time for a break. And then we'll be back with Laura Topper. You are watching the Friday Evening Fireside Chat here on your New Thought Media Network.
Thank you, Center for Spiritual Living Denver, for your continued support. Thank you, Center for Spiritual Living Midtown Atlanta, for your monthly contribution. Thank you, Center for Spiritual Living North Jersey, for your monthly contribution. And please help us welcome Om Center for Spiritual Living in La Mesa, California. Thank you for your monthly donation. Thank you, Center for Spiritual Living Seattle, for your most generous donation. And a special thanks to Hefferlin Foundation for your generous technology grant. And Suze Ajit, thank you for your very generous donation. And a super special thank you to Dr. Tracy Brown, RSCP. Thanks for being a super donor. And a big shout out to all our committed donors.
The views and opinions expressed by Pastor Michael Mangus are generally right. However, they are his own and do not reflect the views and opinions of New Thought Media Network, Centers for Spiritual Living, or any other person living or dead. As they say in the 12-Step Recovery Program, take what you like and leave the rest. Here again is Pastor Michael.
And your gifts are helping us to attend conferences, not only in this country, but around the world. And yours truly got told last week that he is on the media team for the INTA World Congress in Chicago, Illinois, and that'll be held in July. So I'll be helping bring that to you live here on your New Thought Media Network. Well, it is my privilege to introduce our very special guest as a transformational, uplifting singer, songwriter, and author. Laura Topper lives one heartbeat at a time as the pointer to love for individuals around the world who are ready to shine a brighter light, love more boldly, and live more fully. Laura's determination to persist in what she believes in, though life's seeming challenges, is an example to individuals globally. On October 27th, 2012, Laura experienced a full-blown embodied quantum rebirth awakening while walking a labyrinth in a coach training program. So the effects of this catapulted Laura into a 10-year course of study and inquiring, and propelled her to assist others who are encountering the intensity of life at rock bottom and transformation into their greatness. And through this dynamic experience, Laura discovered her singing voice. She met her twin flame partner and also personal chef, Jason. began a course of spiritual metaphysical study that she continues to this date, and also has supported many others through their transformation of life unfolding. Laura is rooted in the intention to bring women together globally to support the shared experience of supporting each other on the adventure of spiritual empowerment, emotional healing and support, guidance, and entrepreneurship. Laura presents her weekly spiritual conversational show, The Cosmic Prayer, on the New Thought Media Network, held on Monday. Is that Monday or Tuesday, Laura?
Oh,
is that Monday or Tuesday?
Mondays.
On Monday.
It's
I thought
Mondays.
so. Yeah. So Laura
Yes.
is completing her adventure of spiritual leadership and consciousness education with Holmes Institute. And she has passed, hopefully, all of her capstones. And also, Laura is a licensed spiritual practitioner with Centers for Spiritual Living, qualified labyrinth facilitator, holds a master's degree. And she gratefully received the 2022 Global Services Award from the Centers for Spiritual Living. It's my pleasure to have on our show this evening, Laura Topper. Hello there.
Wow. Thank you for reading all of that out, Michael.
Well,
it feels strange to hear it all back.
Isn't that nice? Well, you can send me your contribution at any time, just kind of, you can send it in the mail. I'll get, or PayPal. I do accept PayPal.
Oh, PayPal.
Yeah. So you were asking why have I asked you on the show? And that's because you're a marvelous person. And again, I want to say congratulations as far as with the 2022 Global Services Award. Not only did you win that for yourself, but also I believe and feel that you also won it for this network, because we were able to bring the message to the whole world that New Thought Radio existed. Hold on 1 minute. I thought I set my phone on silent.
It's the Queen. The Queen is just calling Michael at the moment. Just checking in with him.
No, that was my doctor's office. That's okay. So anyhow, so Laura, tell us here, how did a nice woman like you get involved in New Thought?
Oh, well, that would be longer than your show to tell you. All I can say is that I've always been interested in New Thought for many, many years. In fact, when I was 23 and a friend gave me a copy of Louise Hay, You Can Heal Your Life. That was it. And a cassette of Shakti Gawain, creative visualization. That was my first kind of entry point into, there's something here. I can change, I can take responsibility for the way that I'm thinking and feeling and see my life differently. So for years and years and years, because I'm, that was 35 years ago. I studied and took part in, like we all do, seeking and reading and workshops and retreats and all sorts of things. And it was in 2011 when I was kind of really following my heart to take the Louise Hay training. And that's when the labyrinth walk happened, and the experience that happened there catapulted me into really wanting to deep dive into the understanding of the divine. And I found Centers for Spiritual Living and Ernest Holmes, and the rest is history.
So that led you into practitioner training, and also to and also to be involved with the School of Ministry. So tell us, how did you receive a calling? Was it a gut feeling? Was it something that you thought that you really wanted to do? Or how did you know that the School of Ministry was a right fit?
Well, I didn't. I mean, when I walked the labyrinth, it was such an embodied experience, what I felt and what happened. And I was in California at that time. And when I came back to the UK, I was changed. I mean, my whole world was turned upside down and changed. And I needed to understand what had happened in my mind, because it was a heart-driven experience. Me being me, I need to understand it. What is this? What happened in the labyrinth here? And so a friend of mine I was giving a workshop, and she'd said to me in the workshop, well, have you ever heard of, the Silent Mind here in the UK? She took classes, and she said, here's the number of the minister if you want to call her. And that's Reverend Anya Slater here in the UK in Bournemouth. And I called her and began a course of study. I had no idea that it was going to lead to this. I just, one by one, one course at a time with her, one-on-one, on Skype. It wasn't even Zoom. It was on Skype at that time. And I worked through all of the foundations with her over a few years. And then it came to that point, well, do I want to continue with practitioner? Oh, yes, because I'm really, I want to know more. And then when I sat the practitioner panel and I had that deeper kind of question, or do I want to go further and learn more? And I said yes again. And so it was it wasn't a planned thing. It was just me feeling it along the way. And I think I'm sure that's for many of us. We get to question the journey along the way and not assume that we're going to take the next step until the next step comes, and then have a real honest dialogue to see if it's what we want for our lives. And I think with so much happening in the world, that's what was calling me also, because I knew that I didn't want to just be a bystander with what's happening. And so to learn and to have a vision to be a difference for life, whatever that is, that's what fuels me. Yes.
So tell us about your work with the Global Services Committee, and you're also the practitioner representative for, is it Region 12? Is that correct?
Region 12. Yeah.
Okay.
I mean,
so tell us about that and all the wonderful things that are happening globally with
yes. And I want to say this, that Global Services Committee is comprised of so many incredible individuals who really have, their hearts set on bringing this teaching, like megaphoning this teaching to people that are willing to receive it, because it's not a case of forcing it upon people, but it's making it available internationally, whether that's through classes, expanding the literature into different languages, helping people with resources and grants, all sorts of ways that Global Services participate to really expand this teaching and bring it out of the seeming kind of neatly tied box of it being American, Canadian, Spanish speaking. There are places around the world and ministers and practitioners that really care and follow their heart to teaching around the world. So I just love being on a part of that. I just feel here in the UK, I can do something to be a part of that. And that's what I do with the others. It's exciting. It's like, it's exciting to be a part of a team and a community that have that intention to share the teachings in such a powerful way around the world.
Well, if you wondered what you stumbled on to this evening, this is the Friday Evening Fireside Chat here on your New Thought Media Network. We are talking with New Thought Media's own host and also facilitator and all kinds of good stuff that she does, Laura Topper. So what do you know about our practitioners in the Ukraine? How are they doing?
Well, I think I've not had too much direct conversation or contact with them, actually. I think that they are very, very supported and loved by our community as a whole. And I know there's a continued meditation, a daily meditation that's run by Katie Brugati. You can find that on Facebook. And I know that CSL Geneva also have a deep connection with the Ukraine, also with the practitioners there, because they were licensed this year by Reverend Beth Linguiri. So she's in Geneva. So they're really held in love. And I know that they are extremely dynamic practitioners, incredible work. And they licensed in January. I mean, the timing of this was divinely perfect. They licensed just before this invasion. So isn't it incredible how we are held, we are to have practitioners now in the Ukraine is immense. It's really wonderful. And I know that there's daily contact with them, which is great.
So tell us about the work that's going on in Kenya. I don't believe that a lot of people understand that, again, that Centers for Spiritual Living, that we are all over the planet. So talk to us about the center there, and how's everyone doing, and how the message is being literally broadcast to people in Kenya.
Yeah, I feel really blessed to be the Region 12 practitioner rep. And I've been this kind of held this position for the last 3 years. It means that I've met so many amazing people globally who really believe in this teaching, New Thought. And I know that I'm going to answer that. I just wanted to say that, the first half of your show, when you talk about everything that's going on in the world, I was listening to all of it and just really feeling into my heart of how blessed and grateful I am and I feel to know and to practice these teachings and principles in my life. And I think the more of us that do this, we get to see life from a different and new perspective. And I believe that's what's happening in Kenya right now. Reverend Gwen and Reverend Barbara are the co-senior ministers of CSL Kenya, and they've taken over from Reverend Connie Phelps, who began there a few years ago, and she transitioned, I think, 18 months ago. So it's thriving. We have new practitioners there now. 6, I think, have just licensed in the last 2 weeks. 4 anyway. And yeah, it's great. And they have a thriving community. People are interested. People want to learn and make changes for their lives. And the center is there, and it's up and running, and it's available for people to walk into. And there are now ministers in education there. Those 4 original practitioners are now in their 2nd year of ministry education.
Wow.
Isn't that exciting?
How wonderful that is. Well, again, I'm really not a big fan of missionaries, because, again, if we're going in to change their religion, we also change their culture, like, again, here in the United States. But again, the important work that they're doing in Kenya, they're not doing that. What they're doing is giving people an opportunity to empower and transform. And I think that the more that we train ministers in their own country, again, we have the technology to be able to do that now through Zoom, is that, again, we're going to see a transformation of the world. So tell us about a location that you oversee or that we're really not familiar with. Talk to us about that. I know that there's CSL in Switzerland. Where else do we have Centers for Spiritual Living?
So we have a practitioner in Ireland, Margaret Chapman. She has her own healing center. She's been 35 years. She's been a relate counselor. So she brings that into her counseling practice as a practitioner and helps couples and individuals to transform their relationships. And she has a very busy practice. So we also, there is Greg, of course, Greg Coyle. He's in Norway, in Oslo, CSL Oslo. And he is a qualified, formidable yoga instructor. So he weaves this in with his classes and teachings. And we have Holland. There are practitioners and minister, Reverend Carmen, and Reverend Johanna is just starting CSL Netherlands in the Netherlands. So there's a lot happening in that region. There are pockets, all over the world, and it feels like there are a few people here, there, and everywhere, and yet there's interest. There's definitely more interest. There are more practitioners that Reverend Anya is teaching now to license in 2023. So it's happening at a slower rate than in the United States, and yet. We know when a seed is planted and the intention is there and we hold that vision, that it comes to fruition as and when, as we trust in the divine. I trust in God within me, and the vision of this, and the knowing that these teachings work. They truly work for our lives. And that's why you're here with this incredible fireside chat. Right by the fireside, because they work. And to hear the news, and then it could be so easy just to stay in bed under the duvet, and yet with these teachings, we know that we can transform something for ourselves. Definitely.
I just give people a prayer list of things to do. So talk to us about all that you do for the New Thought Media Network. You do a lot of things behind the scenes that people have no clue. So what are some of the things that you're working on?
Oh, I'm dusting computers, and I'm filling up the tea bag, making teapots of tea, and tidying the shelves.
Now hold it. You have I don't have any tea, and
hold on.
Oh, should I just go get my own tea?
Well, I think, Michael, you do a huge amount on New Thought Media Network. So it's just, for me, I love the sense of we're doing something really positive here and really powerful to bring these teachings across the airwaves to people when they're ready to reach, to listen and to reach and to just embrace whether it's a prayer or whether it's tuning into a meditation practice or a visioning or listening to a broadcast and just being inspired, because we all hear different things in different ways, different times that resonate with us. So for me, I'm excited by this, and I know that I'm no different to you in as much as giving time into the network and kind of saying yes to things and getting excited with projects. So that's the beauty of this network, is that if people are here and want to be involved with it, we can be involved and be a part of the expansion.
So talk to us about your shows. You have the Cosmic Prayer, and then you also
so
go ahead.
You're going to come back onto the Cosmic Prayer, Michael. I'd love you to come back onto the Cosmic Prayer. And because I know you came on.
Yeah, I know. My people have to talk to your people. They have to do lunch, okay?
Oh, okay, right, okay.
I mean, you have to pick out all the green M&Ms out of the tray. You also have to provide, a certain type of water. So yeah, so I'm high maintenance.
No problem. No problem.
No, I'd be glad to come on you. So okay, so you do the Cosmic Prayer. Yeah. So talk to us about that show.
That was I think I began on New Thought Media Network a little bit before, maybe a month before you, or maybe it was around the same time, and it was 2020, and COVID, and I just thought, wow, prayer, this treatment really works, I believe, for me, the way that I know that it has helped me and assisted me to transform in my consciousness. So I was just inspired to bring on guests and talk about spiritual mind treatment from different perspectives, different people, different perspectives. And it's amazing. I've never really had to reach out too much and get too stressed about who's going to come on to the Cosmic Prayer. There's always people that want to come on and say, yes, I'd love to come on. I'd love to come on. So it's just kept going and kept going since then, every week with a different person, an inspirational being from many different walks of life, with many different ideas and philosophies around prayer. So it's an expansive, I wanted it to be like that, so that it's not only from a Center for Spiritual Living or Science Mind or Unity perspective. So people come on with different ideas about prayer and what prayer means for them. And that's exciting for me, because I get to each week connect with somebody who has something really wonderful to share. And I love doing that. I love conversing with people around that topic. So it's good.
So you also have the Global Love Meditation. When is that? And
that's on a Wednesday. That's like really great, because there's no talking. I mean, it's just, we're in silence for 20 minutes, knowing love for ourselves, for our communities, for our families, and for the planet and beyond. And I began that about 4 years ago with a group on Zoom, and then had the opportunity to bring it to the network. So while it's on the network, there's always the Zoom group here still on the iPad. They join every week because they don't want to come, they want to be there present. So it's really lovely. It's good. I need that to kind of center in. And I thought, yeah, let's center in all together weekly.
So also that you have started a UK European prayer that's broadcast daily. I mean, you can receive it here in the States, but again, it's mostly for individuals in the UK and also Europe. Tell us when that is. And
so that's at 8:15. That's at 8:15 UK time every morning here, weekdays. And the idea is that practitioners around the world, from this, from other countries outside of America and Canada, will come and join and be a part of the prayer team here on New Thought Media Network. So I invited Wilkester, who is a practitioner in Kenya. She's come on a few times to pray in the mornings. So that's lovely, because that means that the network is expanding globally, really expanding globally, and including people from around the world who have the knowledge of how to use spiritual treatment and pray.
Again, if you wondered what you stumbled onto, this is the Friday Evening Fireside Chat here on the New Thought Media Network with the award-winning Laura Topper. How wonderful. Yes, the award-winning. No, you have to do your Queen wave.
Did you watch the Queen? Oh, did you watch? What did you think of the Jubilee?
I thought it was wonderful. I think that, again, that many people in your country, the younger folks, said, why do we still have royalty? Why are we still subsidizing him? But I think that the whole idea of, again, the Royal Jubilee and the royal charities do help not only in the UK but also around the world. So I think there is good. Just wish the Queen always well. And I know that you were subbing in for the Queen. You were going to events for her. We all know that.
She's 94 or 96. Thank you, Michael.
but no, you were subbing in for her. You were just, not.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Yeah, you were her representative, not that you were 96.
Oh, okay. Not her lookalike. The thing is, I believe that, the monarchy, it part of me feels like, why is there still a monarchy? And yet when I look beyond the Queen and I look at and Prince Charles, William, the work that he's doing, I just went to the shop to get my coffee drink. I go to the shop and get a coffee drink, and I walk past the newspapers, and there's a picture today, right now, of Prince William we have a charity over here called The Big Issue. And I don't know if you were aware that when Princess Diana was alive, she was the main patron for The Big Issue. And it's a magazine that's created by people that are living on the streets, and they sell the magazine. So if for people that are living on the streets or in that situation, they have the opportunity to sell the magazine and to people that are passing by and keep a big portion of the money. And it's called The Big Issue, and it's been around for many, many years, because many people don't want to give money, to people that are homeless. So this is a way of saying there's an exchange. Princess Diana was a patron of that charity. And today there's an image on the front page of the national papers with Prince William on the street wearing one of the Big Issue kind of luminous jackets and selling the Big Issue to people. And so I see a complete breaking down of the idea of what the monarchy is, and a new idea of monarchy coming through, where his mother, Lady Diana, maybe she was just before her time, that she was the princess. She was the heartbeat. She wanted to go out onto the streets and be with the people. She was breaking a mold. And he is taking that forwards and doing that now. And I think it's very powerful. And I think he stands for many amazing ethics and morals, and is set to make many changes, good changes, especially around ecology and sustainability.
We only have a few seconds here. So talk to us about the wonderful internships that we're offering here at the New Thought Media Network for ministerial students.
We are. Yes, come and join New Thought Media Network, and you can work personally with Pastor Michael or with me or with Reverend Robert to complete your practicum, to learn more and to give into that work. That's a wonderful way to discover our wonderful community here on the network. So you just have to email in ntmedia.org, and one of us will reach back out to you and welcome you in on a call and meet you. Yes, so if you're doing your practicums and
right. So that's info@ntmedia.org. And again, please get in contact with us. Our practicums are hands-on. We don't just send you for coffee. We don't send you for fish and chips. We actually put you to work. So you are working hands-on from day one. So our practicums are very powerful, and that, again, you get to meet all kinds of nice people, including Laura Topper. So it is a privilege to work with you, my sister. It is a privilege to be able to take this message to the world. I really appreciate all that you do from your apartment in the UK. And, you do have a global reach, and I'm just so blessed that you're in my life and that you're helping us here on the New Thought Media Network. So thank you. Thank you again.
Oh, Pastor Michael, thank you for you and who you are and everything that you be. And I love being in your life and around you and your energy and the exciting projects you're involved with. And thank you for allowing me to be here today. It's been great.
Thank you so very much. So thank you, Laura. And before I get yelled at, we better end this program. So again, thank you so very much. If you would like to be a part of all the things that we're doing here at the New Thought Media Network, one of the things that you can do, again, is to partner with us financially. Again, as Laura was saying, again, we're reaching the world here. Isn't that wonderful? ntmedia.org/donate. And again, it's just exciting that your contribution is being used to reach individuals around the world. It's that exchange here that you get, that exchange of giving and that exchange of knowing that your contribution is life-giving and life-sustaining around the world. So ntmedia.org/donate. Time for me to get on out of here. Again, thank you, Laura Topper, for being with us. And we will see you next week here on the New Thought Media Network for another fun-filled, thrill-packed, and always exciting edition of the Fireside Chat. Pastor Michael Mangus wishing you a very good week.
Thanks for joining us this evening for Friday's Fireside Chat with Pastor Michael Mangus. Join us again next week at 8 Eastern, 6 Mountain for more spiritual conversations for today. For more information and replays of past shows, please visit the New Thought Radio and Media Network's Facebook page. Until next week, may God bless you richly and abundantly.